again, everybody. Tim Schneider with Aegis Learning back with you in our ongoing series about building and maintaining a healthy and high-performing workplace. Today we're going to talk about one of the most common pieces that we see, and that I'm sure you do too, associated with a healthy workplace. And that is healthy workplaces and high-performing workplaces are filled, are stocked with people-centered leaders. Top to bottom, whether it's immediate supervisor all the way to the CEO, the chairman of the board of that organization, they are people-centric. And let's talk a little bit about what people-centric means, and then the answer to how to achieve that becomes pretty easy and self-obvious. Now, people-centered leadership, first of all, has this one underlying baseline foundational piece, and that is they value people. Now, I know that sounds really painfully obvious, but you'd be surprised how many folks out there in the world, especially those in leadership positions, look at leaders who look at their team as commodities. You know, it's, oh gosh, Bob quit. When do we get a new Bob? You know, there's no people value. There's no people connectivity there. So the first fundamental principle is I've got to be able to value those people and look beyond them of what they just do for a living and what they produce. I've got to look at them as actual people and value them as being people as well. So that's the first foundational thing. Above that, some other characteristics of people-based leadership include people-based leaders are great listeners. When somebody says, hey, do you have a minute? Absolutely. And they pay attention and they lock on. Not in that nodding, let's get through it, but really lock on and pay attention and be interested in that moment because that's important to their team, so it's important to them. People-centered leadership is also empathetic, not sympathetic, but empathetic. They understand. They connect with their team members on such a level, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but they connect with their team on such a level that they empathize. They understand what somebody's going through. They understand the frustrations, the ups, the downs. They celebrate the ups. They help and help recover and restore the downs, but they're empathetic. The opposite of empathetic is that cold, I don't want to hear it, you just have a deadline to meet kind of approach. No, empathy is, you know what, we still have that deadline to meet, but let's talk about what's happening and what's going on and, what I can do to help. People-centered leadership also is very relational. That's certainly been a theme that you've heard from me for a long period of time. It's certainly a characteristic of high-performing and high-functioning healthy workplaces is that they're relationally centered. And the leaders that really are people-centric value the relationships that they have with their team members. They know about the family. They know about interests outside of work. They're interested in their team members, and they follow up and they ask, and they're genuine about those things. So again, I said that's a little bit self-obvious in how we get there when you describe those characteristics. But if you think about that, to really turn your workplace into a healthy workplace using people-centered leadership, you'd focus on developing leaders that have high listening abilities. You'd look at them in developing and using empathy. And you'd look at that always somebody that values people above and beyond anything else. I hope you have a great week, and I hope your workplace is healthy and productive, and I look forward to talking to you next time around.